Hi guys, it's Dr. T here, also known as Dr. Pelvic Floor. Welcome back to another video. The goal of my channel is to discover, listen to, and promote stories from overlooked voices, including my own, and not to mention a little education as well. All right guys, let's go. Hi everyone, Dr. Pelvic Floor here. So this is what we've been waiting for. We've actually been waiting to review the pelvic floor model, and I have it right here. So what I plan to do is actually take you step by step through these anatomical structures and actually through this actual pelvis. And I think we should just get started and get right into it. So here you can see the pelvic model with all the pelvic organs within it. This is specifically a female pelvic model. If you want me to do a male pelvic model in the future, I certainly can. As a urogynecologist, we operate on and take care of women exclusively. However, we need to know anatomy. This structure here is the bladder. The bladder actually has two entry points for the ureters, those long tubes that come from the kidney on either side and insert into the posterior or the back side of the bladder. You can see that there's actually lines. These lines denote muscle surrounding the bladder. Yes, your bladder is a muscular entity. Right down over here for women is a urethra. Now, typically, women's urethras are not that short. A urethra is approximately anywhere from 3 to 5 centimeters in a woman, which is a very different length from what it is in a man. If you take a look inside, I hope you can see that where the ureters come in, right over here, you can see those two holes, and they bring urine down from the kidney into the bladder. The ureteral orifices, that means opening of the ureter into the bladder, are at a position called the trigone. It's an anatomical position within the bladder. Next, take a look at this complex. This is the uterus here. You've got the uterine fundus, or the top of the uterus. You've got the uterine body, the lower uterine segment. Inside of here is a cervix. We can't see it right now. And here is the vagina. Let me show you from the side. So you might say, well, what are these over here? This is the broad ligament over here. It's on either side of the uterus. At the top here, you can see the fallopian tube, and you can see the Fimbriae, or the end of the fallopian tube. And you can see that on either side. These structures here on either side are actually the ovaries. Typically, the ovaries are white. However, in this model, they have them as this pink red. And that is the tubes, the ovaries, the broad ligament, the uterus, and the vaginal structure. Let me see if I can open this up. When I do that, you can see the uterine lining, and you can actually see the cervix right over here. Of course, I've taken this and cut it off in half. And finally, here you have the rectum and the anus. The colon up here is not included. You can also see by the lines that this is a structure that is also surrounded in muscle. Each of these separate organs, such as the uterus and the vagina, the bladder, and also the rectum and the anus, I actually haven't told you how large they are on average. Besides the urethra, I did mention it's about 3 to 5 centimeters in women, typically. Now that said, in a future video, if you guys want to see and specifically talk about these individual structures, I can in detail, telling you everything about them, including how long they are. So here we can see all of the organs within the bony pelvis. Here's the bladder. Here's the uterus and the rectum. Here you can see the lumbar spine, as well as the sacrum. I'm pointing to the bladder. Let's remove it. Let's remove the uterus and vagina complex, and we can see muscles. And also let's remove the rectum and anus. So that's it, guys. I've given an introduction into the pelvic girdle and the pelvic floor structures, including the pelvic floor organs. Now, in future videos, we will talk about each and every single one of these pelvic structures, but I just wanted to give you an overview as to what's in there. Let's start by actually naming some of these things. And I know I've not named everything. However, at least we have an introduction into these pelvic floor structures. I want to thank you for being awesome subscribers. Thank you so much for the support. It looks like my channel is growing every single week, and I'll see you in the next video. Again, this is Dr. Pelvic Floor. See you guys.